So this is a little bit of time. Every time I try to say oh, it's gonna be 10 minutes, it's way longer than that, 20 or whatever. So this is just a little bit of stuff that you can do while sitting in a chair. So you can, do this at work, do this before you're sitting down to dinner, do this any time. You can also make it specific, I'm going to do yoga now and I'm going to get a chair to do it. And anybody can do this, I literally, I pretty much am doing yoga at all times in my life. Because if yoga is being conscious of your breath and conscious of your body and conscious of how that is all connecting, I'm doing yoga all the time. I don't really sit still very often. I try to meditate and sit still, and I have actually, since being quarantined during this pandemic, I have meditated every morning, only for little bits of time. I think the most I did was 12 minutes, so big success. And also, I don't know if you can see, but I have these toe spacers because they feel really good on my feet, so it looks like I have webbed feet, but they're not webbed feet, they're regular feet. They just have stuff between. Oh my god. Okay, silly, being silly. This is what happens when you're by yourself in a room. You get silly. All right, so put your feet wide, wider than your hips are gonna be, and just lift and lower your heels and your toes. Just literally, super simple. Keep it really simple. Just moving them around a little bit. And hold on to your knees so that, or your thighs, but knees or thighs, and I think I have really long arms. Not super extra long, but I have those ape index things where you measure your arms and your body. My arms are it's 2 extra inches, I think. So plus 2, plus 1, I don't know, whatever. So use your hands to sit up really tall. Yeah. So if you looked at me from the side, I'm sitting right up. I'm not slouching down. Feel where your pelvis is and sit right in the middle. Just move your feet a little bit. And now I want to talk more about that seat, right? So it's easy to kind of tuck your butt under and lean back into your chair when you're sitting down, right? Super easy. It's also easy to sit up so tall that you're sit up straight, and a lot of people stick their chest out, But I want you to sit straight from the middle. So take the fleshy parts, the good stuff, take it and move it out of the way. And by the way, you can always put a towel under your butt to help you, to make a little extra cushion, a blanket, a pillow, anything. But just to help you sit in this heightened position. And this chair is a pretty good height for my legs because it goes my hips are in line with my knees and my knees can be in line with my ankles. But if that is different, depending on what kind of chair you're sitting in, you might want to put your feet up on some books, or you might need to put your butt up a little higher with towels or blankets. So just check on that, be conscious of what you're doing, because I can't see you. So you should try to see you, you get to take responsibility for this. And then once you feel okay, well, I can feel my pelvis that I'm sitting on, I want you to keep holding onto your hands, but move around on your pelvis. So rock the weight onto the right butt, feel the right butt bone, and then rock it to the forward, your pubic bone, and then rock it over to the left butt bone, and then rock it onto the back of your butt. So it's kind of your sacrum where your spine is connecting. You might be able to feel that down there. And so keep making those circles and go all around and really try to feel all your whole pelvis, right? If your pelvis is a bowl, we're sloshing the water all around. A bowl filled with water, we're sloshing the water all around it. Now I want you to change the direction that you're moving. It's like feeling. And notice if you're moving, what people tend to do, I think, when they do this kind of thing is like move their rib cage or move their torso. Really try to move your pelvis. Like, you can even put your hands there if it helps. You're like, oh yeah, I was moving my torso or my waist. I wasn't actually moving my pelvis. Like, I want you to feel the whole thing. And breathe while you're doing it, any way you want to breathe. I like to make sound when I breathe. Okay, so hopefully you moved it in all the different directions. So now I want you to be specific about your rib cage and try to breathe there. So like you're sitting up tall on your pelvis, right? You can feel all four corners because you just explored all those corners. You explored the whole thing. So now sit up tall in the middle of that and try to isolate your rib cage and move that around. So go to the side, just the rib cage. And your hands are kind of helping to steer you. And like go forward and let it splay out. And then go to the other side. And then go backward. And then you could do the other direction. And meanwhile, like, keep engaged your belly and keep engaged, like, all the muscles that you hold when you have to go to the bathroom, but you can't because there's no bathroom around, or you're on an airplane and the seatbelt sign is on, or you're in a play or something. You don't want to make noise. Hold those bathroom muscles in because that'll help to keep the rest of the weight of your torso supported as you're moving it around. So all this stuff is like engaged, pull it in so that way when you're moving it around, the rest of it can kind of flow freely. If you can control it from here, then the rest of it gets its full range of motion. So make sure you're changing directions. You can do like a bunch one way and then a bunch the other way, or you can just keep going like one and one. But like full range of motion going all around your rib cage. I think there was just a knock at the door, but I'm not going to answer it. It's okay, because we're not open anyway. Okay, so now I want you to move through your shoulders. Keep your hands on your thighs for now, and keep sitting up tall, and just make circles going back. And don't just like do it as quick as you can or whatever. Like, still really try to feel the full range of motion. Like, we're trying to pay attention. We're trying to get to know our bodies better because, or at least that's what I think yoga should be. Because then it's like the more you can feel in your body, the easier it is to use it to do all sorts of cool stuff. So like, if I have a better sense of all the stuff that's happening in my shoulders, I'm probably going to be able to use my shoulders and the muscles in them to do a handstand or to sweep the fucking floor, excuse my language, sweep the floor better, or go rock climbing, or pick up my kid. I don't have a kid. Like that kind of stuff. Like, if you are more conscious of your body than if we learn to get more conscious of our bodies, then we can use that all the time. I don't know. I think it's really cool. Change the direction if you haven't yet. And so remember, we're keeping everything else engaged, right? So all of this stuff is supporting this stuff. And our feet are still there. Like, we're still using our feet, right? You're not just like forgetting, or maybe you are. I might have just forgot. But like, use your feet under there too, All right, a couple more going in the other direction if you haven't yet. And then we'll go to the last thing, which is your head. It's not the last thing. We're still going to do a couple other stuff, but I just want you to turn it no. So no to one side and no to the other side. Oh my gosh. And especially with neck stuff, you guys, be gentle. It's like so easy. So many people get pinched nerves in their neck. It's like wild. Just because, there's tiny little bones, like the vertebrae are so small and they're so mobile that like it's easy to just kind of like push stuff out of the way and knock stuff out of place. Okay, so after that, full range of motion, no, super slow, super mindful, right? Just go up and down. And full range of motion. So it's easy, like because your neck is so mobile, oh my gosh, wow, that's really tight. Because your neck is so mobile, I just want to show you from the side, it's easy to collapse and just kind of like, you know, like flop your head around, but still try to sit up tall and like lift your ears up when you look up. And tuck your chin in when you look down. Don't just like drop, you know what I mean? And ultimately, like, trust your instincts and do what feels good. But again, well, actually, I don't think I've said it in this video yet, but I have said it at some point today, that like, what feels good isn't always what's best for us, right? But you have to kind of decipher, you know, and like make sure you're being mindful, like being conscious of what you're doing. You're not just doing it thoughtlessly because some lady with the fro is telling you to do it on YouTube, right? Like you're just stretching out your neck. So if stretching is finding opposition, like if a stretch is two things opposing each other, what's opposing each other here? So what I feel is like my shoulders go down and my nose goes up. And then for this one, my chin tucks in and the backs of my ears lift up. And it's really subtle. Like I can do the subtlest movement and I feel a lot. So just take it slow and make sure you're breathing. And then we'll go diagonal. I guess it's not diagonal, it's... I don't know. Ear to shoulder. No forcing, no fighting. Don't be rigid. Don't be rigid, but still sit with purpose, you know? You're still trying to sit with good posture. You're still trying to pull your bathroom muscles in, you know? You're still trying to use your feet on the ground. It's almost like I'm hanging away from the ground when I sit with good posture. You know, like I really try to feel my pelvis and like let my pelvis sink into the thing I'm sitting on. And then that's like holding me to the ground because everything else is just hanging up and away from my seat. Right? Like try to feel like you're hanging away from what you're sitting on. All right, so just a couple more things for the hips. So figure 4, right? And you know, some of you might be up here, some of you, this might be like flopping all the way down. I'm relatively tight in my hips, but I can, if I can breathe and relax, I can get a bigger range of motion. So this is kind of like, you know, choose your own adventure sort of thing. You can, you know, wiggle it side to side. You can use your hands to push. You can put, oh, that's super intense for me. You can put both of your elbows down. Just make sure you're breathing for sure. And yeah, make sure you're still sitting up tall. If you're gonna lean forward for that one, I just wanna show you, like if you're gonna put both of your elbows down, I just want you to lean forward with a flat back. So you're not leaning forward rounded like that. This is really hard to do. Sorry, that was loud on the microphone. But like, lean forward with a flat back. Yeah, so it's not, you're not leaning like that. You're still staying on the center of your pelvis and you lean forward that way. 1 or 2 more breaths and really use big breaths and imagine that your breath could go into your hip. Like I know your lungs are up here, but like breathe deep, you know, as much as you can. And then switch to the other side. Ugh, maybe a little shake out that leg. Face back to the front. And you know, while you're doing all this stuff, you can add in little extra things like massaging your thigh or massaging your foot. You know, it's all that choose your own adventure stuff. It's really just like, how do I want to participate in getting to know my body right now? You know, what can I learn? What can I have my mind blown by? You know, just trying to be willing to learn. Like, don't assume that you know every little thing about your body. Don't assume that your body is bad or good or whatever, you know, like no labels, no judgment, just observation. You know, just we're trying to explore and experience. And take big breaths, especially if it feels intense, you know, like we can learn how to use our breaths to calm us down when we're in the middle of something that's kind of intense. All right. So now we're going to do some warriors on the chair, and this will be the last thing that we'll do. So let's start with warrior 2. So I'll start with my right leg. So you put your right leg out, and you can kind of come to the edge of the chair if that feels more comfortable, so you have a little bit more space for your legs to move, or you can go like right to the middle of the chair. Like I said, like my hips are closed in some ways, but open in other ways. So like a warrior, I can get pretty wide, but your leg can also be a little bit more in front, and that's totally fine too. Just, you know, try to get your knee over your ankle. Try to sit up really tall and try to put your arms out. And if you can, bring your leg further and further back behind you, or if you need to like lean and just get your thigh on the leg, that could help. And I just want you to like open and close a couple of times. So, and if that feels intense to do with your arms out, you can always hold on, you know, maybe just open the one arm. Maybe you're like, no, I don't want to move. I just want to hang out here. Just hang out here and breathe. That's cool too. If you want to try to like lift your arms up, reach your arms all the way up, that's cool too. Just try to feel your feet, you know? Feel your feet, push them both into the floor, get your legs active with it, feel your pelvis, and then lift everything away from your pelvis. So again, like you're hanging away from your seat. Then we'll reverse it. So put your hand on your hip, and then lean up and over. And again, if it feels like too much, you can hold on to the chair. You can hold on to the chair, you know, and just move your rib cage, but this is just meant to get into your side. Or if you want it more intense, hold your arms up over your head and really pull. But you gotta lift your bathroom muscles up. You gotta lift all that stuff up and in to support you as you stretch. All right. Woo, boy. Okay, so now turn the whole thing to the side. So turn your toes, all 10 of your toes, face the right side. Now I just want you to try to lift your arms up and balance. Maybe you back bend with it, or maybe you just hold on and sit with it. Try not to collapse back here. Like, don't just like jam your chest back. Like, use the back foot on the floor. You know, you're pushing into it. Use the front foot for sure. Like you could stand up, but your weight is obviously on the chair still. And then lift everything up from your feet, from your hips, from your belly, from your ribs. Lift it all away from the floor. And if you can, add a back bend to it. You can hold on to your head if you want to, and add your breath to it. Woo, that's intense. Okay, so now the other side. And then we done. We done. Okay, so I've got definitely more weight on my left butt than my right butt, but there is a little bit of weight on that hip. And then hold on to the chair or your thigh or behind you if you need to, or don't. Open and close it a couple of times. Again, use your feet, right? Like push your feet into the floor. Even though you're sitting on your butt, you can still use your feet, just like we were doing before when we were sitting regular. Get your legs involved, you know, start to feel stuff kind of lighting up. And breathe, make sure you are breathing. And you might use sound when you breathe, it's always nice. It's kind of like a comforting thing when you feel your vibration. And then add that reverse to it. Oh. Remember, keep lifting up here. All right, and then turn everything to the left. So all 10 toes face back, both feet on the ground, back heel on top of the back toes. So it's like really like steering you forward. And then back bend if you want, otherwise hold on to the chair. Lift up, lift up, lift up through the belly, up through the chest, up through the elbows. Or hold on. Really push into your feet. Awesome. Okay, so I lied. We're going to do one more thing, just because I want to twist. So you're going to face the side, and you could start facing whichever direction you want. I'm just going to go to the left. So both of my butts are on the chair, right? Did you know you had two butts? Both of my butts are on the chair. And move the fleshy parts out of the way so you can feel your pelvis. And then you'll hold the back of the chair, sit up tall, and look over your shoulder. And you know, some people might go a little further than others. You could take this arm out, but I'm literally using the chair, holding onto it, and sitting up tall to twist. Use your feet on the floor. Like push your feet into the floor to help to steer you. But keep sitting up tall through the roof of your mouth. So you're not collapsing, you're not hunching, you're really lifting up from your pelvis. Again, like you're hanging away from the seat. Slowly come out and slowly go to the other side. All the movement is mindful. Never being thoughtless, never trying to rush through it. You know, don't rush through your life. Live your life. Live your life. Enjoy it. Experience it, the whole thing. Remember, use your feet, use your hips. Try to be conscious and aware of everything that you're using to help you. The more you can share the effort with your whole body, the easier it is to do stuff. So it's not about like how much effort can I use while I'm doing something. It's like how little effort you can use, you know? If everything's working together a little bit, then nothing has to work really hard, you know? All right, so we're gonna end with a quick meditation and just a couple of breaths together. Again, try to sit up really tall. Try to feel your feet, feel your hips. Let your shoulders relax. Let your eyes close if you can. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth so your jaw drops. Remember, try to feel your feet and your hips really pushing down so that everything else can lift away from them. Like your head is hanging away from your shoulders and your ribs are hanging away from your hips. And now with your eyes closed, picture an image of yourself. And that image can be you at any time in your life, just as long as it's clear. And I just want you to think, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be whole. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be whole. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be whole. Okay, so one last breath together just to seal it off. Exhale completely out your mouth. Shh. Big inhale. And sigh. Nice. Thank you so much. So cool that you just did that and that you made it all the way through. It would really help me if you subscribed to my channel, and it would really help me if you told your friends about it. You know, donate if you can. No pressure. It's just like, I really want to make yoga accessible to everyone and anyone. I think that there's like a lot of stigma around it because there's a lot of stuff in this country that, and other countries too, I suppose. I just haven't been to that many other countries. But there's a lot of stuff in this country that like says like, this is yoga and this is what's right, and you gotta be skinny and you gotta be pretty and you gotta be this and that, and like, this is the right way to do it, and it's gotta look like this and you gotta wear this. No, that's so silly if you ask me. So there's a lot of right ways to do yoga. There's a lot of right ways to live your life. So just try to like, you know, I think what's not silly is getting to know your body and taking care of it and like being really nice to yourself. And, you know, even if that's hard, it's hard sometimes, for sure. So just, you know, ask any questions or leave comments or whatever. My business is NP Rock Yoga. So the best way to get a hold of me is just email me, nprockyoga@gmail.com. NP stands for New Paltz, New York. So yeah, nprockyoga@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I hope to hear from you soon, and I hope you have a really good day. Okay, bye.